psychotherapy. It just allows a complete review by the individual of the issues they consider most important to themselves. We all know the questions we have to ask, and we all know the answers, and Ibogaine precipitates that discussion.
Good morning, how are you doing? Good. Good? Okay. So what do you feel right now?
Resting for a little bit and then getting up.
But you have runny nose, runny eyes, yawning? No? Diarrhea? Nothing.
Nothing. It's like, I feel like I'm totally drug-free.
Yeah?
It's so trippy, but I'm pretty worked.
Yeah, you're fatigued. That's normal. All right, I'll see you probably tomorrow.
Thank you, doctor.
All right.
Cure is a very strange word. Cure implies that something outside of yourself will completely rewire you. It will not. You are still whoever you are. But people are different. The question is, what are you other than drug dependent? And, different people have different pathways out of that. But the bottom line is you have to face yourself. You have to deal with yourself. And it's really very hard sometimes.
What Ibogaine is this doorway that you walk through, and on the other side you're clean. But the problem is when you get to the other side of the doorway, there's a vacuum behind you, and that vacuum is trying to suck you back into addiction. So if you don't get up and get moving away from that doorway, you're going to get sucked back into your addiction. People need to know that Ibogaine is not a magic bullet. It's not a cure for addiction. It's an addiction interrupter, and it will give many people a chance they would not have without it. I like to say that Ibogaine is a catalyst for change. If you come here determined to use the Ibogaine, determined to stay clean, I think you'll stay clean. If you come take Ibogaine for kicks, you're probably going to go back to using afterwards. So if you're going to choose to do Ibogaine, come with a plan. Plan to go into some kind of aftercare home. Plan to move. Plan to break up with that boyfriend that you're using dope with.
The first people that I met when I settled here, I guess there was still something in me that was attracting the sort of people that I didn't need to be hanging around with, and I thought that it would be okay for me to just smoke pot and drink and have a normal life because I hadn't had a normal childhood and I wanted to do it, but it quickly led to me finding crack. I never was able to find heroin in this town, which is really good. And the problem that I had here was very short compared to my life before, but it took me getting to a place where I realized it wasn't something that was out of my control or out of my hands. I had to make a conscious choice whether I wanted to live or die, and nobody was going to do it for me. And Ibogaine could certainly help with the cravings, but it wasn't going to be the catalyst for that willingness.
Here is the things you need to get at a health food store. You need to get melatonin and vitamin B. The melatonin will help you sleep. You take one for 10 days before sleeping. Okay? Stay away from people who are not good for you, places, situations. I mean, you know what triggers you to relapse. So take it slowly, and then take it slowly, eat well, and exercise. And you'll see, you'll start feeling much better. I mean, today is just, the emotional aspects are coming out. Every day you'll feel stronger, okay? Your energy will come back, your mood will improve, you'll feel much better, okay? If there's anything we can do for you, just give us a call.
Okay, well.
All right?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
I'm 34 years old now. I don't know if that matters, Maybe if I was 23, I wouldn't stop. Maybe I wasn't ready. But at 34, I'm done. It doesn't mean that I won't go to concerts. It doesn't mean that I won't go out dancing. It doesn't mean I won't live my life. But I'm just not gonna be on drugs. My passions are surfing. My passions are snowboarding. My children. Who needs heroin?
I think that ibogaine is a very important treatment option that needs to be made more available to everybody. And it's not available right now. There's only a very few places to go do it, and there's only a very few places to do it safely. And it's unfair that the drug addicts that that can't afford to come down to Mexico, that can't afford to fly up to Vancouver or get into their program because it's hard to get into their program, and can't afford to go to St. Kitts or can't afford to fly over to Amsterdam, can't have this treatment. It's not fair to them. And this is when ibogaine becomes political, because the FDA, I don't think, is going to approve this. There's no pharmaceutical company that's going to administer this. The only way we're going to make ibogaine legal here in the United States is if we end the drug war. When we end the drug war, then we can say, okay, ibogaine is available to the people that need it. And then we can give it to the different drug treatment centers that would be able to handle situations and administer this safely.
The patents on using ibogaine for drug dependence and various polysubstance abuse disorders, I mean, the opiate patent has expired as of 2004. The rest of them are in the process of expiring. So you can't patent it as a addiction interrupter, as it's being called. It is not a maintenance drug. You take something once, twice, 3 times. If you've taken ibogaine more than 3 times and you're still strung out, it's all you. So it's not something that anyone's going to generate a lot of money on because no one keeps taking it. There's no maintenance. It has that really annoying side effect of producing those waking visions. It is potentially dangerous if given to the wrong people in the wrong dose ranges. Basically, everything you can possibly stack against something, it's stacked against ibogaine.
I've been to the Betty Ford Center.
Really?
I ended up shooting up on my way out of the parking lot. I went to McDonald's Center in San Diego. Went to Vista Pacifica. I've been to Charter.
No, you've been to more than I have.
Dude, I've had a hellacious time getting off this shit.
So, and when did you first start trying to get clean and stuff?
Maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah, it's about the same. I was about 11 years from me in 92.
I was looking for something to fill a void in my soul. I feel like I'm not missing that piece anymore. Like whatever happened filled all my voids. I don't know why. It's like beyond me. It's like I can't grasp it.
You have to understand the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry is not there to develop medications to cure disease. It's there to develop medications to increase the profits of shareholders. Now, as a president of a small pharmaceutical or medical development corporation, I contacted the licensing directors of major companies like Lilly and DuPont and Ciba-Geigy, medium companies, and even smaller companies trying to obtain their interest.